look, we're back in our beautiful room.
Exactly. Finally.
We haven't been here for a while.
We haven't.
But we got some dope topics to talk about.
Yes.
We going to talk about Weinstein and his raping ass going to jail, the income tax hookups, and the coronavirus. Stay tuned. We got some super dope guests, too. God bless America.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. I was like, what is going on? Hey.
Welcome back, Pinkies.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, man, it's been a while. It's been
a
like
long
3
while.
weeks. We've been all over the city of Houston.
We have been.
We've been partying. We've been doing interviews.
We've been getting waxed.
We'll
talk about it.
That's them. The whole thing. About me partying.
Yeah.
I have been
Y'all
campaigning
seen the video.
Just to let you know. Just clarify.
Y'all seen the video. We got to see. That's one of our guests you hear in the background. She's awesome, but we'll introduce y'all to her later. We're just going to talk about, what we've been through, the last week or so.
What's been going on with you?
I have more stuff or more shit that happens in my home life.
Yeah, exactly.
I had an incident with my oldest daughter. Okay, now Sunday is hair day. Everybody get their hair done on Sunday. All right, we get a wash, we get the blow dry. We get your style. Done by yours truly, me, mama. I got skills. So I decided I was going to do my daughter's hair. Like, I gave her some cornrows on the side, right? And then the middle, I left it open like a mohawk. It was cute. I liked it. So, yeah, to me. To me. I got style, though.
You do.
So, instead of cornrolling the middle part, I just did like a little flat twist. And it was like poofy. I liked it. It was cute. Pinned it up in the back. Got her little beads coming on the side. She hated that shit. So I said, you know what? I spent all my time doing your hair. I could have been doing my own. I have neglected myself to take care of you.
Yes.
So she was like, okay, whatever. So she went to school the first day. That day she said, Mom, can I take my hair down? You on your own. Do whatever you want to do. So she took her hair down. And she wet it. I don't know why. We black. Our hair gonna shrink when it wet. Well, everybody's hair shrinks when it's wet, but ours shrink like. So she took it down, wet it up, and it looked crazy. It looked correct to me. So I said, what you gonna do? She's like, I don't know. I'll put it in a bun. I don't know what plan she had. I wasn't going to help her.
Right.
I knew that was my plan. You on your own, honey bun. So she kept coming in and asking me questions. I was like, look, Pumpkin, you decided to take your hair down. So you make a decision on how you going to fix it.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
So it took her like 3 hours. And she said, Mommy, my head hurts. Okay. Go drink some water.
Yeah.
So long story short, she went to school with her hair all over the place, look way ridiculous than what I had done.
Yeah.
So I pick her up that afternoon. Her friend French braids her hair. Give her 2 little French braids. Look awful.
To you.
It looks like a 10-year-old did her hair. So she wore that style all week because guess what? She wasn't getting no help from me.
Did she like it?
She liked it. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you like that and not what I did?
Well, then
Mine was semi-professional.
Okay. To you. She didn't like your style. So I think at this point, moving forward, you should let her do her own hair.
I've encouraged that.
Yeah.
I've always encouraged
but
that.
from this point on, your Sundays are half yours now. All you got to do is, baby girl, and you're done. Oh, no. Go do your hair, honey. Okay.
You got it. practice makes perfect.
Yeah. I've been going through, I'm sorry, were you done with your story?
Yes,
great.
Rachel, I'm done.
I've been going through a lot lately. I don't know where these emotions are coming from, but I realize that I don't apologize well. I don't take ownership well. I don't.
What do you mean?
Taking ownership. Let's say we have an argument, we get into it. Okay, we can stop talking for a little bit, but we're gonna start talking again. I'm never gonna go back to that moment where I was wrong and take ownership for being wrong. I'm just gonna move on because time has gone on. I've ignored you long enough, and we gotta talk again. So this week, something happened, and
what happened, Rachel?
I can't really say what happened.
What happened, Rachel?
So I'm always like, I can't really say. So I'm always arguing. I'm gonna bring the girls. I'm gonna bring the girls. I'm gonna bring the girls. You know how I do this all the time. I'm gonna just bring the girls. I'm gonna bring the girls. I'll be the girl. I be mad like for no real reason. I'm gonna bring the girl. I'm gonna just bring them, and they're gonna be next door, whatever. And but I know I need to not bring them. I know I need to completely focus on being here and present in what I'm doing.
Because you don't focus when you have the girls.
I don't listen. I don't focus. There have been times where I have to bring them to work because they get sick, right? And they think going to work with mommy is the greatest thing in the world, and I can't
work.
I cannot focus while you're here. All I hear is excuse me, mommy, and everybody's like, oh, they're so cute. I'm like, no, I can't do that. So this
and you know they're talking about you behind your back.
Excuse me, mommy. And so this week something happened, and I just moved past the incident. I didn't go back, and so somebody posed this question to me like, you're not gonna apologize? You're not gonna? I'm like, apologize for what? Like,
so they started a new argument.
I completely tried to block the incident, but I was in the wrong, y'all. I literally had to replay the thing, and I'm like, okay, check yourself. You were wrong. So I literally had to say, fine, I apologize, but I wasn't like really taking real ownership for apologizing. Really, I was like, fine, I apologize. Whatever. We can just move on.
That is definitely new for
and
Rachel.
It took a lot out of me because I don't ever feel like I'm wrong, first of all, but I was really wrong in this situation. I was real wrong. And so I was like, fine, okay, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry, okay? What do you want me to do? I'm sorry, okay? And that took so much out of me, but it made me mad that I had to apologize. Like, I'm like, what happened to us just like letting a couple of days go by, not speaking to each other, and
we
then
forgive,
we're
we
fine.
forget.
We're fine. I didn't want to do it. It was real hard, but I had to.
So
I had
proud
to
of you,
apologize.
Rachel.
Oh, okay, we're moving on.
Growing. No,
I
I'm
had
just saying
okay,
that's growth. That's called growth.
That hurt. That shit hurt. Growth hurts.
Little, no matter
Growth
how minor that
hurts.
was, no matter
growth hurts.
how hard it was
That's
to
why
come
they call
out.
it growing pains, Rachel.
Yes, growth hurts.
It was. Speaking of
Growth
pains and growing, I want to introduce our guest this evening. We have Democratic candidate Kathy Cheng.
Yay!
She's running for Texas Supreme Court. We have our beautiful Shonnel.
Hey, Shonnel.
Y'all seen Shonnel before.
Exactly. Y'all know. Exactly.
I'm so used to it.
And we have Miss Pretty Lady here
Yay!
again.
She was our first. She helped us break,
The hymen.
Yeah. I didn't have to look
Thank
for it. It's broken.
Welcome, ladies.
Yes. So we have to be careful. This is still our show, but we have to be careful about what we say because we got, apologies.
Yeah, ladies, just to be fair, I understand that anything goes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that I cannot answer, I'm just going to say pass. All right.
Thank you.
So for the folks that are watching
Thank
out
you.
there live, I have no idea what they're going to say.
Exactly.
Pass. So if I just go pass.
Exactly. Not on her,
She's
guys.
in the clear.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, FJ.
Welcome, ladies. So what do y'all think about this Me Too movement? Now we've seen Bill Cosby get convicted, go to jail. Now we've seen Weinstein get convicted and possibly going to jail. I don't know if he's gonna go.
Is he still in the hospital?
You know they play that role.
The way
I'm
that
too
he was
sick to go to
walking,
jail.
The way that he was walking, it was definitely, he was not playing.
Oh, well, when he was raping people, he
had all the strength in the world.
Exactly.
Okay. Keep that same energy, boo.
So I think this is them playing the role. So, ladies, what do y'all have to say about this?
No.
Yeah.
This is my first time hearing that.
That he's playing a role?
I didn't even know he got convicted. Like,
This is just recently.
This is my first time hearing that too.
Really?
This is your first time? I didn't know that.
He's
I've been on
supposed-
R.
yeah,
Kelly for the longest. I don't know.
Oh, he's.
I'm his biggest fan.
Are
Play
you
R. Kelly.
serious?
Yeah, I am R. Kelly.
She's still a fan. She still like his music.
So
It's
you
okay
want to
for
be
her
a you
like
want to be
his
a
music.
victim?
He could pee on me if he wants to. Just-
Look at.
That's that golden. No, I'm joking.
That golden shower.
She's like, oh dang.
But
I'm
back
definitely
to
gonna lose some
Weinstein.
more.
Do y'all think it? Do y'all really think he's gonna go to jail though?
I don't think so.
You think it's gonna die before he goes to jail?
I think he's gonna disappear before he goes to jail.
Disappear where?
Anywhere he want to go in the world.
He might get like a face.
Like how do you
thing.
think it's possible for him to get away with this long? Do you think it's because he had people helping him, or that people were too afraid to come forth and say, this is what this man was doing to me all this time?
It's a catch-22, really,
Yeah.
because I feel like people in Hollywood, and it's like, oh, I want to be a star. Well, you need, but there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't. That's obviously under our nose. So I just think it was a matter of time.
Well, I think for any women to come up to tell their story with respect to what happened takes a lot of courage.
It
First,
does.
we have to admit that.
That's scary.
Right, especially what we've seen throughout the history. Women have been played as the one that's perpetuating all these acts.
Right.
So for these women that come out and make the allegations and then have to testify in open court, so we definitely have to give them credit, and we also have to commend them for having that courage, so that any future women who go through this will not be afraid to stand up and speak out.
So how do you think this is different from R. Kelly's accusers?
I think the time difference, the way it played out, is a little different. You know, all right, I see Leslie has something
He
to
wasn't
say
R.
about
Kelly. You have to admit, musically, he's a genius. Whatever he does on his whatever is what he does. The same with Michael. Musically, they're geniuses.
So
but
it's
everybody
okay with them?
No. What I'm saying is, he was so busy being a star, I guess. No one really. I mean, because there's so many things going on tour anyway. I've seen.
You don't think it's
myself.
color? You don't think
Women
it has race?
Throw themselves at
I don't-
him or something like that. Is that what you're?
I don't.
The world's biggest fan has.
No,
something to
I
say?
think. How do I put this? Chanel.
boy.
What'd you
Well,
like?
R. Kelly situation. Okay. I feel. How can I put it to make myself don't sound that bad? Because at first I was thinking they parents were selling their kids for fame. That's how I was thinking that.
I thought that too.
You know,
I did.
So I was like, y'all know R. Kelly from the past. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So why would you even bring your little 12-year-old child
Right.
around R.
That's the
Kelly?
same
But you
thing
know what they
said
were
about Michael
saying?
Jackson.
They said, well, he
Exactly.
got acquitted. So we figured if the court said it wasn't true,
He really paid
it's
them
not
people out.
true.
We know the courts do not.
That's why I was
Yeah,
like,
They do not look at things in our favor as Black people. We have a systematic set of rules that are different for us than they are for others. So we always, more oftentimes, we lose in court. Probably most of the time is because we don't have great representation, and that we seem like we're prey to predators, because the school to prison pipeline, I think, is a real thing, and that
what is that for those?
school to prison pipeline,
Yeah.
meaning that the kids that are in school now, they're only being groomed to go to prison. with the small things like the uniforms. It's pretty much the same thing that they wear in jail now, the khakis and the polos or tees or whatever that they wear, and that they're not really learning anything in the schools. They're only being prepped for this test.
You don't
this
think
statewide
uniforms
test
are to help parents save money?
That's the game that they play with.
I thought
us.
it was
Okay,
like
no,
they
I'm sorry.
dress it as
Yeah,
gang related.
I don't think that's a game that they're playing. It's affordable to me to buy these polos and these khakis. I'm not gonna get 2 kids ready every day and try to figure out something new to wear. No. You get that color, and you put on that khaki.
Same thing you wore yesterday. You can wear today. Nobody would never know.
So, yeah,
the way that my kids
I get it.
Gang
you know what to buy. You know what you wear to school. It's easy, simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and it's like punishment for is a big thing at school. First thing they do? They call you, and what do you say? I'm at work. I can't keep leaving school to go see about my child.
Punishment is a lot different than it was.
Yeah, remember we had corporal punishment, of course, the paddling and everything. Another thing is shit. I forgot my point. Exactly. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
Okay, black hand, stop helping her.
The security in
Let
the
her have
school.
her own thoughts.
We never had security.
Put your hand on the mic and talk then.
Shut up. Let me finish my statement. We never had security in school as we were growing up. Although we had fights and stuff. Sometimes I think there one time
now we need security in school as a protection.
Again, that is, to me, it's a conspiracy. That's just what I believe. It's a conspiracy. The school shootings sometimes are setups, just like the church shootings sometimes that we've had are setups to pose bills to the government to change the law for,
So somebody gave this little boy a gun and sent him in there.
Sometimes, yeah. In some cases, I do believe. Some cases are real, some are not.
I don't think everything's coincidence.
Exactly.
That was what I said.
I can't believe you believe that. But okay.
Okay, Cinderella, I'm going to need you to come out of fairy tale land.
If I'm anything, I'm not Cinderella. Okay? If I'm anything.
Okay. All right. The Little Mermaid. But anyway, since you're so wet all the time. But
there we go. I like that one. Nikita, I'm a little surprised you would think that it's a setup. I mean, I understand and agree that with the school system and pipelining down to the prison, you have specific ethnic groups that's essentially groomed because of who they are. And it's expected. And it's unfortunate.
Right.
It's just the way the society is right now. And that's why I'm going to have to segue this, why you need to elect people that would see no difference in color or skin. And which is why last day voting for Election Day, Super Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020, folks. Because you want that to change, you have to change yourself first.
There you go.
And that starts with having a voice. And how do you get a voice? You voice by having a vote. And don't tell me that one vote won't matter, because every vote matters. Some elections are won with just one vote. So, folks, please get out there on March 3rd, 2020, and make sure you exercise your right to vote.
If
and
you
be
haven't
heard.
voted already,
Exactly.
that's
Have
your
you voted
last
already?
chance to vote.
Have you voted
No,
already?
I have not.
Are you planning to vote?
Yes, I will.
Are you just saying that because she's sitting
Did
you vote last?
She's a judge. She's going to send me to jail because I didn't vote.
Did you vote? Did you vote in the previous?
No, I didn't.
You didn't vote in 2018?
I did not vote.
I didn't either. That's why I didn't talk about it.
Oh
I feel like when you
God.
don't vote, you don't have a voice. And
So
I
don't
just,
complain.
Exactly. So I just So I didn't say anything. I was just like,
So, and
Yeah,
it's
go
not
ahead.
an excuse. I was overwhelmed with the candidates. I didn't know where the standings were, and I wasn't keeping up.
How much time?
And I just didn't want to go vote for anybody.
Right.
So I
pick a
wasn't
party.
sure who I needed to vote for. So that's why I didn't vote.
How much time should we take on giving someone the opportunity to tell us who they are and what they can do for us in our community?
Well, first of all, prior to the 2018 election, I feel that there was a lack of transparency, which caused citizens like yourself to say, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what these candidates are or what they do.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of folks don't even know what's the county commissioner's job, what's the
Right.
sheriff's job, what's
Right.
the constable. All these folks are, some of these are in law enforcement, and you can't figure out which one does what.
Yeah.
So in 2018, we changed that. Candidates came out and explained what the sheriff's position is, what's the county attorney's position, what's the railroad commissioner. And if anybody paid attention,
Right.
you would know Railroad commissioner has nothing to do with railroad.
Right.
Has to do with oil and gas.
Right.
Same thing with me for the Texas Supreme Court Place 6 position. The general constituents, most of the time, they wouldn't go to the district court level. So we have 3 levels in the state court. We have the district court, we have the Court of Appeals. In the state of Texas, we have 14 Court of Appeals. Then we have the Texas Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the state of Texas. That's the equivalent to the U.S. Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court being the highest for the nation.
Right.
Okay. What's important about these judicial courts is that, as you all know, the legislative branch makes the law. Yeah. When the law is challenged, when an issue comes up, where does it go to? It's Texas Supreme Court. So for the longest time, people didn't understand that and didn't relate to that, so they were paying attention to the legislative races and forsaken the judicial. Folks like you say, hey, it's overwhelming. I mean, look at this 2020 election ballot. We're going to have a long list of judicial candidates from the Judicial Court of Criminal Appeal, well, actually county courts, district court, Court of Appeals, and also Supreme Court.
Right.
These candidates, including myself, traveling, because I'm a statewide candidate, I travel across the state of Texas educating people on how this position affects them. One of the main things I tell people, when it's challenged, gerrymandering is a big thing in the state of Texas. And that will be an issue that's going to be addressed by the Texas Supreme Court. So when you're talking about you're overwhelmed, folks, there are plenty of information out there, and we're constantly holding meetings, meet and greets with constituents. So it's actually, you have to take the initiative to say, I want to make a difference. I want to be heard, but at the same time, there's so many of us, there's no way we could, and there's so much coverage.
Right.
There's no way we could hit everybody. So when there's meet and greets, it's your job as a citizen to get out there and say, hey, what's going on?
So what if we don't have the opportunity to get out there? I'm a mother. I'm a full-time, student. I have kids. I have to work. Like, if I don't have the opportunity to get out there, how do I educate myself? Because I'm already overwhelmed. So you want me to go out here with these kids straight off of work, straight out of school?
Well, that's
like,
why
what's another form for me to educate myself?
As a mom of 3, I totally understand with the full-time job, campaigning and everything. Right. I totally understand your position. So that's why we have social medias now. See, that's why I'm out here in podcasts. That's why I'm doing live stream and not knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
I'm like, beep, beep, beep. Every time you guys say something, you're like, beep. But that's what we're doing. We understand that parents, especially moms, especially single moms who have full-time jobs, having kids, school activities, after-school activities, and your plate is full. That's why we as candidates try to do our best, going out there, social media, and then going outreach, community outreach, knocking on doors, block walking, phone banking, and so forth. And honestly, there's only so much we can do. Right. And same thing, so much you all can do. But every now and then, instead of texting and stuff, you could just kind of look us up on Facebook or Instagram, or any of the social media that's popular nowadays to kind of look at it. Whether you're going to get all the candidates, that's dependent on the voters themselves. Right. Because in this election, we're looking at the presidential. But in all honesty, folks, presidential race is important, but it's the local candidates, those that's closest to you.
And I think that's what in our community, that's where we missed the ball. We think the presidential is the most important, but they don't affect our daily lives and our communities. That's right. Greatly. Like this. If I have an issue, I'm gonna have to go to this type of court. I'm not gonna take this to the president. Exactly. And that's the one that we pay most attention to because it gets so much media coverage on television. Right. I'm not as savvy on social media as I should be as the millennial of the group. I do have conversations with people that I know though, but to go outwards and to look, let me just look up what's our local, state, and federal. Like to me, that's a lot. That's doing a lot. So for me, I feel like in 2018, I was overwhelmed, and I didn't put that much thought and effort into it, but I also didn't talk about it either. A lot of times we don't vote, we don't do anything, but we have a lot to say. Well, if you have that much to say, you should have put that much time and energy in going out and vote into these different areas.
Look, folks, let me just put it this way. Let's compare politics to a football game. right? As much as
as
patriotic as we are.
You got
when
something else? You got something else?
When we talk about football and stuff, we'll spend all that time to see what's going on. We'll get everything ready for the Super Bowl and stuff.
You lost me.
Look, let's be realistic.
No. Any sport. I'm not paying that much attention.
Okay, shopping. Let's talk about it, ladies. When we're talking about shopping and stuff, we put so much time. We put so much time figuring out which pumps are better, which pumps are comfortable. But when it comes to our freedom, our right to have a voice, we put so little time into it. What does that say about us? And then when something goes wrong, we want to complain about it.
Yeah.
See, that gives us no right to complain. When we say, you know what, we're overwhelmed, I have to do this and that, I just didn't decide not to vote. So when something happens, especially when you have all these marches or these rallies and say Black Lives Matter or Brown Lives Matter, folks, all lives matter. But realistically, when you vote and you get that respect, you don't even need to have these marches. You don't even need to have these rallies because what it all boils down to, yes, you're not going to be fighting your own battle.
Right.
I don't have to fight for my own battle.
Right.
When something happens to you or when something happens to me, I know you have my back and I have your back.
Right.
And we fighting the same fight together.
Right.
Because that's the only way we're going to gain respect. And that's the reality of it, folks.
Yeah, I think they need to get in front of that more.
That was real.
Yeah, that was.
It goes back to that Rihanna, her speech. She was like, tell your friends to pull up.
About the NAACP Image Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I got a
I have no idea what y'all talking
about.
Is this cable talk?
No.
This is actually on
I haven't
Antenna.
owned a television.
This on Antenna?
Yeah.
What
happened?
happened?
I don't know.
NAACP.
I didn't see
Oh,
it.
on BT.
I don't watch TV.
Well, the NAACP Awards.
I don't watch
This
TV.
is where she made the speech.
Sorry,
See, I'm not. I guess I'm not that. It takes a lot to get me invested, and some of these things they don't really directly affect me. But I am gonna have to start getting out there more because I do have a child that deals with mental issues. So I need to find groups that I can go to and rally with, and that can help me and give me these local, state government things that can help me help her and also help my family. Because I feel like I'm just one person fighting this battle. If you don't have a child that's dealing with this, it's very hard for you to say, "Oh, I understand. I can help."
When you say mental issues, is it like more of
like ADD
like
or
no
something?
like
Special
special needs, like that type of thing?
No.
Or is it more of like
learning disability or no?
behavioral?
This is behavioral.
Okay.
It starts off as behavioral, but then they'll flip it and say it's something else.
Okay.
So for right now, it's behavioral.
I was gonna say
Behavioral and emotional.
I'm doing a I'm supposed to be painting for autistic kids. So these two black men in Vegas, they made this program, and we're supposed to be meeting soon, and it's like a real thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought it was.
When you're talking about services and stuff, sometimes when you have the opportunity, when you have the opportunity to meet some of these candidates, like for example, give you an example. There's a Dr. Jennifer Cantu out in Fort Bend who's running for county commissioner, precinct 1. Okay, she works with kids, especially trying to capture them before 3 years old because majority of brain is locked at that. To find if there's any need for special treatment for these kids. So when you're talking about getting these services, candidates like Dr. Jennifer Cantu and other ones who are maybe MDs or psychiatrists or things like that, they know these resources.
Right.
And they know just how important it is to have these resources for our constituents out there.
Right.
So when you say you're overwhelmed, well, in actuality, there are people out there with these resources and telling them, and we're making sure when we're serving the general population that we're not cutting these budgets for the folks that's running in those positions and understand just how important it is.
Sorry. I
got distracted. Black hand got candy. He's not sharing.
We can't chew anything. We can't have anything, and he's over there.
Well, it's kind of like my mentor tells me. He's like, Leslie, stop fucking around. So basically, you are. I'm sorry. Basically, you are in the way of your own self. Because there is no excuses for anything. It's just.
We can make all the excuses we want, but at the end of the day, okay, all it takes is us for taking that. I know we could take away 15 minutes.
I know, but I'm exhausted. Like it's very. I'm exhausted, And I hear
Rachel,
I hear you, but you don't understand how tired
we already
I
had this.
am.
I think you and Leslie had a prior conversation before the podcast started. Okay, so
What
the
was it about?
exhaustion,
It's self-inflicted. Is that what you're saying?
yes, the exhaustion
No,
was
that's
so.
to help me get to sleep. Okay, at that point.
So you're mentally exhausted, and then you get
But I think
physically
sometimes you need to meditate.
Exactly.
I do meditation and I do yoga and stuff like that. Like, I really think you need to find
It's
your-
easy to do that when you don't
Let
have
me-
someone saying, "Mommy,
Well, you know, at some time, how old are
Mommy.
they?
excuse me, mommy."
How old are they?
5 and 10.
They're old enough to
I
go in
got
that
what?
room.
to
Let me say
meditate as
this.
well.
And for you
No,
to-
no, no. I need to do this by myself.
No,
No,
I
that's what I'm
want
saying.
them
No,
to do it
meaning
with me?
for them
Okay.
to go in the room. I mean, you can make it a fun thing.
No, no,
be
no,
like-
no, no, no.
Okay,
I
but
need,
you
I
can
need
say,
my
like,
by
hey,
myself time.
Like, I need my time, or you
I
have to like
say
really.
this, but you don't. I don't think y'all understand, the
understand.
level that she is on. It's just you don't. It doesn't cut off until she sleep. Like it's that much. Yeah.
I truly understand where you're coming from. When it's easy when people come up to you and be like, "Yeah, you could do this or you could find this," but I'm a person kind of going through depression. My mom passed away last year. So it's easy for people like, "Oh, you know, she in a bad place," or you know, it gonna get easy day by day, but it don't get easy day by day.
Right.
You know, so
and that's
I
messed
feel,
up for
and then
somebody
I
to
have
walk up to you and say.
yeah, and then I have a 16-month-old son, and I'm pregnant. It get overwhelmed, like, oh,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
because he need attention.
Right.
You like what your daughter do, mommy. He,
Yes.
and then go run like, you want me
Yes.
to chase you?
Yes.
I want to sit here, be comfortable, and watch my Golden Girls sometimes.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's no more Coco Melon for a day. But yeah.
All right, Shonnel, I'm gonna have to take the mic from you, okay? Folks, ladies. Okay, so you have a 16 months,
16-month-old.
and then you're pregnant, and Rachel, you have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. Boys or girls?
Girls.
The girls. Okay.
Sorry.
I
Exactly.
have an 11-year-old girl, a 5-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old boy. So, bear in mind, I have a full-time job working as a private practitioner, full-time job as a mom. I'm a caretaker to my 80-some-year-old young mom, and I'm campaigning full-time statewide. I totally understand and get your position that it's exhausting, okay? But do you know what keeps my drive to do what I do? No, not weed.
I thought you
No,
said
I do
wings.
not
I don't eat meat.
take weed, okay? No, it's the idea that what I'm doing is to better the life for my children and future generations. You know, earlier we were talking about respect, right?
Right.
If I don't fight out there to get them the equality, especially for the girls, because I have a daughter.
Right.
All right, let's be realistic, folks.
Right.
This is a male-dominated society. As
Right.
much as we say there's equality, it's still a very much
It's
so
still
male-dominated
not.
society. Okay,
Right.
so and I'm not just looking at. I'm not just looking at making sure my daughter and all the girls out there are being treated equally, but at the same time making sure my sons learn to treat women with respect.
All right.
Okay, that's why I do what I do. You know, sometimes I'm out there campaigning, and Leslie can vouch for that because we were out there and she went on an event with
Her
me and stuff.
son was with her, her little boy.
Eh,
So
And like one of the
and she was
events,
tired.
right? One of the events, I was on the road till didn't get back till like 4 something in the morning, traveling, driving out to the event 5-6 hours, and then attending the event, and then driving back because I knew my kids were going to be in school the next morning, and I just wanted to make sure. So I get it, all right. But the reality is, at the end of the day, once we earn that respect for whether it's for us, for our individual ethnic groups, or for our girls, or passing on that lesson to our boys, that, hey, we have this quality, that's what drives me. That's what keeps me going.
It's kind of like what Uncle Dwayne Johnson said. You have to go out there every day to earn your respect.
Is he everybody's uncle?
I'm
No,
gonna say,
he's my uncle's cousin. So
Okay,
I just
okay.
we say like ate means like, yeah.
Okay.
So.
okay, Uncle.
So
Yeah,
I
introduce
get
you.
what you're saying, Judge, because you are. Yes.
Will be.
We're gonna affirm that.
Right.
And I've never been so afraid of anything in the world until I had children.
Mm-hmm.
And I have girls, which
Right.
that they make. I mean, that's extra special. So I don't want them to be,
Are we crying?
prey to predators. So I still have to. I'm still growing. So I have to decide, how am I going to shape their future? Because they are truly my legacy. So when I'm not here anymore, they're going to be the ones to carry on what I've created with my husband and what our parents and so forth. So I do understand it. And I know politics. I've always been afraid of politics. I'm not going to lie.
I have to
Because
I don't
I've
understand it.
learned that politicians usually liars. They lie to you to get you to vote for them, and then when they get in office, they don't produce.
Right.
And as a black woman, I know that black people, period, do not come together on certain stances, things that we want. We cannot get together and decide, okay, we're going to go to the candidate for this. That's just something that we haven't learned to do yet.
Right.
And as an individual, when I'm trying to make a decision, so I'm thinking like, okay, so who's going to look out for me? How do I decide who's going to do what's best for me and my legacy? And that's what I get overwhelmed. Okay, I don't know what they stand for. I don't know who they are. I've never even met them.
Right.
So, and then that's when I like fall back. I was like, okay, I don't know what to do from here. So now that we have all these pilots where we can go to social media and find out who people are, because there are commercials that come on social media. I don't watch TV.
Right. I don't.
So I'm
either.
not going to get it from the television.
Right.
So what I need to know is like what website in the state of Texas that I can go to and look up people in my district and find out who those people, read about these people.
Okay. The League of Women Voters, they're extremely good about putting out the voters guide for the candidates, various candidates. So that's one starting point to go to. And then there are various organizations, these nonprofit organizations that also has the voter guides for particular areas. But like I said, the League of Women Voters is nationwide, and they'll have specific areas. Like, for example, we have the League of Women Voters Houston. Well, we also, I believe recently they started off League of Women Voters in Fort Bend. These league chapters are all over the U.S. And this is the same nonprofit organization that assists in registering monthly naturalized voters. So naturalized citizens who become voters at that point. And folks, for those of you who've been born in the U.S., I highly recommend you attend one of these naturalization services.
Right.
Until you witness how dedicated and patriotic these soon-to-be naturalized citizens, the look on their faces, the proudness of waiting to be sworn in as a U.S. citizen for the first time, you will never understand just how lucky we are.
Right.
Why do I know that? Because I'm a U.S. citizen by choice.
Right.
I was one of those. And I became a U.S. citizen many, many years ago when I first turned 18. I went and applied. I think it was 19 when I was sworn in. And even to this day, when I assist the League of Women Voters in registering these voters once they become sworn in as U.S. citizens, I still get the butterfly feelings in my tummy. That's how significant being a U.S. citizen is to a foreigner. So as someone who's born in the U.S., and especially knowing that our brave men and women are out there preserving our right, our freedom, we could make so many excuses, but in reality, when you say you're afraid, essentially we're telling our kids, when you're afraid of something, give up. Step back and just not do anything. When we were talking about the victims of rape, same thing with them. They're afraid. Being that we're a male-dominant society, after all these folks who come in and talk about rape and stuff, essentially what we're sending a voice is, hey, there's fear there. Let's give up. I don't think that's the message you want to send to your girls. I know I don't. I don't want this message to go anywhere, whether it's to my daughter or to my sons. My thing is, look, the reality is, because I'm a person of color and a woman of color, I will always, like Shonnel says, always have to fight to earn a respect.
Right.
So while mommy's still here, I'm going to fight as hard as I can so that my kids, your kids, our grandkids won't have to do this. Or you could just say, hey, I'm too afraid. Maybe our kids would do it. Well, you know what?
No, they're
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to chance it. I'm gonna hope that what we do to this generation will give us that respect that we deserve, so that they wouldn't have to fight this hard.
And
So
that's
vote.
why what she was saying about, I guess, speaking up is why I'm doing my foundation for sex trafficking and abuse.
Right.
So I understand it. It takes a lot, but I feel like once you find like your passion and your truth, and you just kind of walk in it, but it is very difficult to stand in your own truth too. There's a lot of battle scars that you are like within first that you deal with, and then you go out and you can help, you know. But it's okay. You get yourself correct, and then you can be able to step forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about energy, really.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Like, share, subscribe, rate they mates, plates, Talking Pink. Follow us on all social sites, Chia on Twitter, Pink, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Donate to our Patreon.
There you go.
Fucking donate, okay? Stop fucking inboxing bitches and fucking subscribe and fucking donate. You wanna make? Fucking donate, okay? So we can get this pussy.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey,
we've
y'all.
been being learned.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Talk.
we got a lot of information that we're learning from our guest, Kathy Cheng. So she's been over here giving, not really preaching, but she's just been giving us like food for thought.
Right.
And we just really appreciate. So we're really listening. We're taking it all in. I know we're kind of not being our normal selves,
Right.
but hey, we're women. We're trying to grow, and we're learning a lot from the conversation that we're having tonight. And I really appreciate. Thank you so much for the energy and the information. But we do want to talk to Les a little bit more. She's got a foundation that she's starting. So we're going to give her the floor and let her talk more about that. Oh, my
This is how she always start off initially.
Okay.
Like,
I know,
hey,
it's
y'all.
like, boom.
No, it's called Fight Back in Pink because my favorite color is pink. Which
Pink,
is
Talking
so
Pink.
ironic. Yeah. No, I started it because I decided that I wanted to tell my story, and I was brought through a lot of adversity, but I got myself out of it, and I realized my story can actually help a lot of people and a lot of girls. And, you know, I just turned 28 and I'm still not like hooked on drugs, or I'm not pregnant or anything crazy. You know, like I have like, and I say I'm happy that I'm this age and not pregnant, because I believe that I'm the mother of a lot of children in the sea, and that's why I'm catering to everybody. And I feel like,
What do you mean when you say a mother to?
So this is gonna go down to like, I'm gonna say religion, not spirituality. So
Okay.
if you look at the 7 African gods, one of them, you over there. It's not Osha, is it?
Oshire?
Oshaya?
Ocean.
Oshaya. Yeah, she's like the
Ocean.
mother of
Okay, I don't
the
know.
sea.
Okay.
Yeah. So look it up, like for real. But no, I decided that whenever I left Hawaii and started my life at 18, no, I was 19 at the time. I wasn't scared anymore, because when you're all that you have in this world, you move different.
Right.
And I feel
Exactly.
like I was meant to do something, and I just had to heal myself first. So it took about like 7 years to like truly heal myself. So it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not alone on that part, and you're gonna cry by yourself. You're gonna do all types of things by yourself. But once you get over that hump of shedding skin and really building that confidence.
So how do I shed the skin? I have to cry? I have to
No,
lose weight?
I mean you.
Is that kind of skin?
No.
Okay.
Spiritually.
That big brick wall you have up there, that's what she means.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Tearing that down.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think what Leslie's referring to,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Leslie, sometimes when we hit the wall, the brick wall, we just need to cry, whether it's on our own
Oh yeah.
or
I
with
don't
a
cry.
sister or sisters,
No.
and just have that venting
No.
mechanism,
Mm-mm.
then bounce back.
And I think we
I
go
think-
through a life like with a lot of stuff and a lot of adversity, but you know, it's okay to cry. Like, I don't know why people
No,
say
I don't know why we're
it's
talking
okay
about this.
not
I'm not a.
to. No, but no, I think that I'm
I
using
think,
this.
Rachel, it's gonna take a lot more time for Rachel, and I say it with love, Rachel. You have a brick wall that
I
you
do.
you
I'm fine
stand
with
in
that.
front of, and you're okay with
Yeah,
it
I am.
right now. But what she's trying to say is that, maybe if you bring that wall down, tear it down somehow, and only you know how and
To
when
do
you're
it.
ready to do that, then
Yeah.
you'll see a different Rach. You see
So
a different
basically what
outlook.
it is like through life there's different yous, but
Mhm.
if you stay the same you your whole life, there was really no growth. So while the time that you have here, do something. And it's okay to be defensive or anything. It's kind of like a muscle whenever it's sore and you go and massage it, and its first
Use
thing is
another
to be
analogy.
defensive.
Okay,
And-
a different analogy. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to like break it
I'm like,
down.
you
As a
muscle.
human being, we go to the restroom on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Without venting, without that crying, without breaking down that wall, imagine yourself not going to the bathroom for a whole week.
That's good.
That's what you're doing.
That is good.
So you
So I
are
would have a
putting up all that junk
urinary
in there.
tract infection.
Yes, good.
So
good
it kind
example.
of like,
Good
yeah.
enough.
So
Oh
that's
my
why.
God.
That's why. And men out there, who's if you're watching,
You can get a
when
UTI too.
When your women are crying, hey, just console them. Okay, don't ask why. Just let them do it. Just let
I
them
think
vent.
men cry
That
too.
is,
M-
and
men-
there is,
men
and
should.
by the way, there is absolutely nothing wrong with
Nothing
men
wrong with
crying.
a man
There's
crying.
nothing sexier than for a woman to see a man cry.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
You know what? Depends.
It depends on, it
Depends
depends
on the
how.
situation
Right,
and what's going on.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay,
I stubbed my toe. Boy, if you
No,
don't. You're right. You're right.
It is. It
You're
is.
right.
It's a mechanism to unload all that
yeah.
junk.
Oh my God.
And if you don't, do you know people get sick not because they're genetically prone? Yes, some
Agree,
folks are
yeah.
genetically prone.
Yeah.
Okay? But majority of the time, human beings get sick because of what? We're putting all that
Yeah.
pressure within ourselves, not getting rid of that venting, not getting rid
Okay.
of that
That-
junk,
you know
and
that-
things starts to come out, whether it's mentally or internally, anywhere. I'm
You know
telling
that nerve thing that's going on.
the twitching.
No, I have a nerve condition in my face, and you are so wrong for that.
I'm just
Don't do that to my condition.
Up, be a
Don't do that to my. That's not
flower.
my. That's not why I got
Let
this
yourself
condition.
Go.
But it'll be
think-
okay.
You know what?
I
I
think
do need to
eventually,
urinate.
you'll be there. You know what I mean? I
You're
think it
not
takes
ready.
time.
You know when
Yeah, I
you're
know.
ready.
Yeah, exactly.
You will know. You'll just automatically have that flow of tears coming out, and you have no idea. You
Oh
probably
my
went
God.
through it.
Oh
You're
my
being-
God.
Oh, yes.
You're pregnant, right?
Yes.
No.
But
Yeah.
reality,
Say every
seriously,
day.
Every day.
Every
Every
day.
day.
you will want to just cry for no reason, and you also
It's
just go,
energy
wow.
just kind of letting out.
No, I
It
get mad
really
when I
is.
cry. I get so
because
mad
you're not used
when
to
I cry
it.
because I'm not ready to change. Like I feel like my growth is enough. I'm not gonna get taller. I'm not gonna get slimmer. So I'm not ready to cry.
But I just, like I said, I think everybody has their time in life, and you can never
So am I
compare
just gonna
yours.
wake up one
to
day and just
some-
start crying?
No,
all
it's
of a
not. It's
sudden?
not even about crying. I
Okay.
just went
We
through a
don't
lot
know.
of abuse and things like that.
Right,
so
right.
I had to retrain myself into the things I've seen.
Okay, I
But
get it. I get it
you
from that
also don't
standpoint.
want to go through life and you've had things happen to you, but you hold on to them because then you won't be living life fully.
No, no,
Then
no.
you be
It's
on
safer.
Snap.
It's safer to hold on. I just think for me,
I mean,
it's
you'll
safer
never
to hold on to.
Snap.
I just-
forget.
From where you've
Where-
been
where-
to
what
you
happened,
from
are.
where
yeah.
I've been, to me, it's safer to hold on to.
But
I
you know
feel
what?
like
You
I'll
don't
do
want to
more
get to the
damage
point
for
where
holding
life gets
She's got
to the
time.
point where something happens to you. So, for instance,
Like my face.
I know somebody, they broke a leg, right? And I said, so what have you, it was just recently, like 2 days ago, I said, so what have you been learning? She was like, patience, because before her accident, she didn't have patience. So you never want to get to the point where the universe decides, like, you know what, I'm going to do something, and it's then you'll learn your lesson that you were supposed to be learning the whole time. Yeah. But I am tying my foundation with my art, though. So.
Oh, okay.
That is beautiful, but I feel like that's messed up because I have no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying it's messed up because you said the universe. So the universe did do something to me. I talk a lot, okay, and I have this nerve condition in my face now. I could not talk for weeks, and all I could do was cry. I must have had a natural UTI because it was trying to get it out. But all I could do was cry. I could not open my mouth. I could not eat. I could not drink. I couldn't
so you
do anything. And I was like, I don't know what happened.
Well, so if you subconsciously acknowledge it, you're just fighting it yourself. So say, for instance,
I know I'm fighting it.
like my accident that I had. Like,
that was third party.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely,
because of my accident is what pushed me towards my passions. Because it was like, yeah, no, you're gonna. This is what
you
you're
were
gonna
already
do.
so passionate about.
No,
what
the thing
you
was,
were
I
doing.
didn't know that I was gonna do it. Honestly, it was just something that was just mine, and then the universe was like, yeah, no.
Something had to happen and trigger to her because we had this conversation.
Like spiritually, like I was, but then we all have our own spiritual path. I just,
Yeah, it shut me up. Because if I'm talking, I can't hear anything else.
So that would have been your moment to decide, why did this happen? This happened for a reason.
This is not new information, people.
Right.
Rachel
so
has
if
heard this
if you keep thinking that you got it together.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I'm a control freak, so I like to assume that I have it together, and I like to be in control of the environment that I'm in. But that just let me know, no, I'm not.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's telling you to like change, but
And
if you keep
shut up.
ignoring it, something's gonna Because what happens? You
Front
want to
door.
be an example to your kids.
I couldn't fuss at them. It was really hard.
No.
I lost weight though, but I gained it back because I can talk now. Got new medication. I'm a very stubborn person, and I know this, and I'm comfortable with that about myself. So I feel like,
Well, as long as you know yourself, but
I
if you
know.
do know that you need to make change for the better,
like health-wise.
but just in general, because I think for me, I always want to be in student mode, right? I never want to think that I'm a teacher. Like, yeah, you can help someone, but if I'm forever in student mode, I'm always learning. But
Right.
once you tell yourself, like, oh, yeah, no, I'm done, then it's just like, you wonder why that chef yells at adults because they think they know it all, but they don't.
Real.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
No,
What you
I'm
looking
sorry.
for?
Nothing.
Nikita,
I don't have to go to the restroom
w-
right now. That's not why I have to go to the restroom. By the way, my stomach has been upset and it's been a little bloated, and maybe that's why, because got to get some stuff off my chest.
And your bladder.
Emotionally. Yeah. So
And your intestines.
why you looking at me like that? I feel like you have something to say.
I was looking at myself.
I did a lot of looking at myself when I couldn't talk.
So, Chanel, I want to ask you,
me. Okay.
what have you been up to lately?
Oh, besides being pregnant and like you say, cry every day. I'm working on my own podcast now. Yes,
Shut the
Viv
fuck
and
up.
Bob. Last show was last week. I'm kind of sad about it, but
Really?
it was our last show, and I'm moving on to bigger, better things.
So who was the Beyonce of the group? Is it because?
Oh shit, me.
Chanel.
Okay, so you wanted to leave the group, and so
And
you
start
just
my
like, you know
solo.
what?
No, Dale was already starring his man cave, and Meech had her veterans podcast going on, and I was like, shit, I want to do something. Let me think. Because my first passion was vivid life. I started at 2014, and I was interviewing people. So I want to go back to interviewing. Besides just sitting on the couch and just talking, we talking about, me just opening my big mouth saying whatever. I want to go back to interviewing people and learn about their life. That's what I was so passionate about in 2014.
Okay.
That's good.
If y'all don't recall, we were guests.
Yeah, we were guests. We
on
thought we
Vivid
were.
Vibes.
This
We
my
thought-
this my spiritual sister.
Exactly. we thought we were
Was
going
that
to
me
be
and you
on the
situation?
show. So we were confused. Okay, let me just tell you. When we walked in and we saw these people, it was like, oh, what kind of, okay. So we saw the table and we're like, the chairs. And we're like,
Oh, so
so
we're
where
gonna
do
go sit
we
over there?
sit? We were so confused because we didn't know it was like a studio audience and it was audience involved, questions and answers. We at the end we had a good time, but we were so confused when we first walked in there. And then you had your own Wendy Williams thing going on by yourself. And we're like, oh, this is cute. I like her. And then, okay, say no, I get it. Okay. Okay.
So I think you should interview me right now.
Really?
Yeah, come on, show us what you got.
So, hold on, I got to get comfortable. I got to get comfortable. So tell me a little about yourself. What make you you?
I think there's a lot of things that make me me.
You got to hurry up and get to it. People sleep.
I think I am very energetic. I think that I have wisdom and positive insight on certain topics.
She being cute.
So what you bring to Talking Pink? What's your side versus
wisdom?
I am the calm, level-headed person.
Okay.
She still cut deep. I mean, that don't.
But
mean
I
anything.
do. Wait, what was that, Kathy? What was that?
She was like, I agree.
So,
mic check.
So I think I can, I can fill the room more.
And this is going to be my favorite question to ask people. What will you tell yourself 10 years ago and your present self and your future self?
My 10-year... Oh, how old was I 10 years ago?
Okay, you don't have to do that.
Okay, so 10 years ago, I would have told myself...
Oh.
I would have asked myself,
Oh, okay.
you sure you want to get married?
Ooh.
That's a good question to ask yourself.
Future self, why I got a divorce?
And my future self would have been, you should have did that investment. You should have went for it.
Okay. But yeah, I'll be working on this in April. Okay. So I'll be back. Believe me.
How do you feel about being pregnant right now? Like, was this planned?
You know how that felt.
Let me tell you,
because everybody feels different. Everybody feels different. So I'm asking you because in my last pregnancy, I was not happy at all.
Let me tell you how this happened. Well, you know how it happened, y'all.
Exactly.
Y'all know how it happened. But
we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back and find out how she feels.
We don't mean to interrupt you, Chanel,
exactly.
but we'll take a little break.